Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It is currently 12:40 a.m. on this rainy, muggy Wednesday evening going into Thursday. It is currently 70 degrees outside. I just dropped off Tanya Jean. Tanya Jean Applestein, prettiest girl I've ever seen. We went and got a fountain pop. Cheers. I got Mountain Dew tonight, which I almost never do. I don't know why, I was kind of feeling like Mountain Dew tonight. And that's about it. I got up today, well, I vlogged earlier. Got my driver's license, ran some errands, went to the bank, went to Costco. I got paper towels. I got a big thing of Diet Coke. 30 Diet Cokes for $11.57, which I think is $11.57 or $11.59, I think. Pretty good deal. Cheaper than the grocery store or the gas station. And then I got lotion, because we use that Aveeno lotion. And, well, I use all kinds of lotions. I really like the Sol de Janeiro, but, like, I kind of try to save that for, you know, special occasions throughout the week. The daily, just like jump out of the shower, the Aveeno lotion. And I used to use the lavender Aveeno lotion for years and years and years. But at Costco, they sell a dual set. And actually, it came with a trial size as well, to the one I got today. Of just like, I think it's just like the oatmeal Aveeno daily nourishing lotion. And I got that. And then I got some body wash, because I don't use body wash always when I take a shower, but we have so many different kinds. But Alex just likes, you know, just a basic, like some kind of men's, you know, body wash or whatever. And so I got, I don't know what it's called. I have the hand sanitizer. I like the hand sanitizer. It's called Everyman Jack. And I got, it was sandalwood. So I got that. I mean, I guess it doesn't need to be for men. Anybody can use it, right? But, so I got that. I feel like I got something else. Oh, and I got a new fan for our bedroom, because we've had our fan for a couple years now. And so they had fans on sale. They were kind of like, you could like prop them back and forth, and it's supposed to be really high speed Velociraptor fan or something like that. So I got this fan. I did not take it out of the box and try it though today. So that was that. And then I came home and I brought everything inside and took the pups out. And then it was pouring down rain when I did my drama video. So I might have taken the dogs out after that, when it had stopped. Anyway, I filmed the drama video. I wanted to film some other videos, but it was getting kind of late in the day. I drove around a little bit and listened to Mexican Gothic, which was my June book that I'm trying to finish up. Which, oh my God, tonight I was talking to Tanya and I was like, she said something to me about, what are you reading? And I said, Mexican Gothic. And she goes, what is it about? I think I'm reading it too. And so I started telling her, we're the almost exact, like, I mean, literally pages apart from each other on this book. Is that not so funny? So anyway, I go, that's my June book, Tanya, for my Peter's Book Club. I said, you didn't need to buy it. I would have just given you the hardback version of it after I needed to, once I finish it and do the review. I said I would have given it to her. But anyway, so then I got ready and went and met Alex and my mother-in-law at San Giove's for dinner tonight. Alex and I both had salads and then pasta. And then they got bruschetta to start. And my mother-in-law had some, it was one of the specials. It looked really good. It was like mushroom ravioli, and then she added chicken to it. It looked really good. And then for her birthday, she got to pick a dessert, and so she got tiramisu. And it was fun. And that little area where it's in this Fisher's District area, is so nice. And they have like all these like really nice upscale restaurants, fun little, there's like a winery in there. And Alex was telling me tonight It's called Peace Water, I think. I'd never been there before. It looks really cute. It's like right on the other side of the street from where Sangiovese is. And I said, have you been there? And he was like, yeah, I went to the one in Carmel. And he goes, you don't tip your servers there. He said they're like, because they're hourly, they get paid like a better rate hourly, I guess, or something. Because I was like, they don't get tips. And he was like, well, he goes, your tip goes towards an organization of your choice. Because they like do a lot of fundraising to the restaurant, which I thought was kind of an interesting concept. I thought that was kind of cool. So apparently the servers make more money because the tips go towards like some kind of charitable organization, which I like that. I thought that was cool. So anyway, so yeah, we were sitting there. It was funny. We were sitting there, and I like looked over to my left. It was like 2 booths away from us, 2 tables away from us, and there was this this girl that's like a woman, Instagram influencer here in town, influencer of the world. And so many people had reached out to me in the past, and they're like, do you ever bump into her, blah, blah, blah. And I had never before, but I started following her like 2 years ago on Instagram, and I love her Instagram, and she's always, you know, showing pictures with her husband, and she's got like 3 little kids. And anyway, so she was sitting over there, and so like halfway through dinner, like I had to go to the bathroom, so I went to the bathroom. On the way I stopped, and I like introduced myself to her, and I was like, I love your Instagram page. And she was so nice. She was like, her name's Holly Woodward. She was so friendly, and her husband was so friendly, and we were talking about, they were telling me where they're from, and so he was asking me a bunch of questions where I was from. And she's like, we need to do a little video or picture. We were going to do a picture together. And she's like, oh my God, it's a video. And she posted it on Instagram. She's very sweet. Very, very nice. So anyway, they were asking, they told me where they live, and I was asking, they asked me where I lived and stuff in Indianapolis, and they were super friendly. But it was funny because after the picture, she posted the picture, I started getting all these messages from people, and they were like, how did you bump into her? Where did you see her? Like people that I know here in Indianapolis, because a lot of like friends of mine that are like women, girls, like they follow her because she does like all kinds of fashion. She's like a fashion Instagrammer, you know? And so, but anyway, that was fun. She was super nice, and they were very talkative, and they were super friendly, and yeah. And then left there, came home, took the dogs out, and I was gonna take a nap for a little bit, and then Tanya texted me, and Alex was still with his mom because they were gonna go across the street and have a glass of wine at that 1933 steakhouse where we went with his aunt and his grandma, his aunt and uncle and his grandma. So they're gonna go over there and have a glass of wine, and for her birthday. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna go home. Well, we had been there for a really long time, and then I was like, I think I'm gonna go home and let the dogs out and stuff, and then they decided to go over there after that. So, but anyway, I was just like laying down at home. I was getting ready to take a nap with the dogs, and Tanya texted me, and she was like, fountain, ? So I was like, yeah. So I went and got Tanya, and we went and got fountain pops, and drove around for a little bit. It was nice. It was good. It was fun. Tanya's had so many people visiting from out of town. 2 of her other grandkids are visiting right now. And, you know, then Tanya was out of town, I was out of town, and we just really haven't seen each other a whole lot. Last night was kind of like the first time in like a week and a half that we had seen each other. And so it was kind of nice to get back to normal and just drive around in a car in the summer, you know, and swap stories and laugh. And it was so funny because we were driving, like, if you live in Indianapolis, you'll know where this is. We were driving past, like, Walmart, and, like, where Walmart's on one side, Meijer's on the other side, and we were just, like, driving around, talking, and there were these 2 kids that were running across the street. They were probably, like, I don't know, in their mid-teens, and we were like, where are you at? Where are your parents at? Why are you running out on the street? You need to be at home. There's no apartments around here. We got laughing so hard. And then Tanya told me some funny story. What did she tell me? We were laughing so hard tonight. crazy that after all these years, you know, like, Tanya and I still tell each other things that we like, new things about each other. You know, it's like I learn new things all the time. But anyway, we were just sharing stories and stuff, and it just, from our vacations, and we were laughing and having such a good time. And it's funny because this gas station that we go to, like, to get fountain pops, it's the Get-Go on 116th Street, way out there by Geist. And the gas pump never works. So I have to stand there and hold it, and then it clicks off, clicks off, clicks off. So I kept on going, okay, Tanya, let's see how far I can get. And so I would, like, hold it, click it, and then I would, like, start walking away, and, like, 2 seconds later it would unclick, and she got laughing so hard. Tanya's been working with a nutritionist, God, probably for 4 months now. She's been working with like a doctor and a nutritionist to like lose weight and eat the right foods and get into shape and all this kind of stuff. It was like this big ordeal that she went through, and like met with the doctors, and she goes in still like every 2 weeks, and she meets with the doctor and the nutritionist and stuff like that. Tanya has lost so much weight, and she looks so fantastic. I never really thought Tanya was that heavy to begin with, you know, but she was always so critical of herself. She was standing outside my car, and I was like, Tanya, oh my God, you've lost so much weight. I'm so proud of her, you know, like, she really, like, had such a hard time at first with, she's such an inspiration to me. It's like, you know, when she first started it, there were, like, she was supposed to eat, like, you know, well, they kind of came up with this diet for her based on, like, her hormone levels and all that kind of stuff, right? And so she could have, like, so many vegetables, so many lean meats, this kind of stuff. It was all, like, you know, like that. And so and Tanya cooks, so she would every night, like, cook herself a little meal, and then she would make, like, Eric something, you know, like, but it would be, like, mashed potatoes, or, you know, people bring a lot of stuff to the kennel, so they would bring, like, a pecan pie, or apple pie, or brownies, or cookies. And Tanya literally never, like, ate any of it. None of it. I mean, she never ate the mashed potatoes. She never ate the macaroni and cheese she made for Eric. She never made the sides. I mean, she would call me and she'd be like, I'm just like, I'm so bad wanting one of these brownies right now. Somebody brought in from work, or I so bad want just some, like, a side of mashed potatoes. Never once. She has stuck to this. And it was probably about a month in. And, she said to me one night, she's like, I feel like a completely different person. She's like, I have so much more energy. She was like, I am so rested. She said, I feel so good. So I'm very proud of her. And she's inspiring my getting in shape journey. And smell that hand sanitizer all over me. I'm kind of ready for some nice days this summer. Like, it was nice the other day, like, in and out. Like, it was cloudy, and then it was sunny. It was cloudy, and then it was sunny. But it's like, we haven't had that many consistent days to, like, go to the pool. Like, I feel like last summer we had, like, I mean, I felt like almost every day last summer I was at the pool. I mean, it's July 1st, and tomorrow, well, now it is July 1st, and it's going to be cloudy tomorrow. It was cloudy and raining today. It's supposed to rain, I think, the rest of the week. I'm like, when are we going to have the sunny weather back again? Don't know. Don't know much, but I know I love you. My friends and I used to love that song in high school. I don't know why. I was thinking about that the other day. It's like, I listened to all of this kind of like, it wasn't really like hardcore punk music, but I did listen to more punk music in high school. New age, like the Smiths and the Cure. It was funny because a lot of it came on my iPad today, or my iTunes today that I was listening to. It was like, William, It Was Really Nothing by the Smiths came on, and then Boys Don't Cry by The Cure came on like right after that, and then a General Public song came on, and then there was something else, The Sundays came on. It was like all this music that I used to listen to back in the day. But it's funny because like with that, there were also like, I loved the song Cherry Bomb by John Mellencamp, which is funny because I wasn't a big John Mellencamp fan when I was in high school, which is kind of strange being from Indiana because, you know, John Mellencamp is from Indiana. He's actually from the same town that my ex was from, Seymour, Indiana. If you go to Seymour, Indiana, it says home of the Oktoberfest, first weekend in October, and the birthplace of John Cougar Mellencamp. So if you go down there, you can sometimes, like, he's been at the Oktoberfest and other things before. But anyway, but that's not why I like John Mellencamp now. But actually, my ex's mom went to high school with John Mellencamp. So my good friend of mine, my one good guy friend that we went on a date and then decided that we should be friends instead of date, he and I went to Farm Aid. I think it was 2001, which means it would have been 20 years ago. God, was Farm Aid 20 years ago? I bet it was 20 years ago. And so this would have been the week that my ex and I started dating. Yeah, it would have been this week because it was my birthday. Because my ex, well, my friend and I were at, this is crazy. Well, we were at Farm Aid 20 years ago, my birthday. Well, my ex and I, or when my friend and I were at Farm Aid, my ex, who we had just started dating, he brought up to my house this wooden carved box with all of these. I used to wear all the time, I mean for years and years and years and years, I wore beaded and leather jewelry constantly. For years I did. And still have tons of it at home. I have tons of jewelry at home. I should do that. I should do a show and tell of my jewelry. But anyway, so he brought it up and he set it outside my front door with a bunch of flowers over it. So when I came home from the concert, it was like on my front door, which was really cool. But my friend and I, we went to Farm Aid, and it was a bunch of, like, it was a lot of different bands. It was like Ted Nugent, John Mellencamp, Neil Young, Leonard Skinner, I think, was there, Marshall Tucker Band. Anyway, so I have a picture. I was so thin. I have a picture of myself walking across the parking lot that my friend must have taken of me, and I had this vintage baseball shirt on, you know, where it's gray and then the sleeves are blue and they're 3/4 length, and I had that on with jeans and flip-flops. Oh my God, I was so thin. I was probably about 150, 160. No, when I started dating him, I was like 170, so I would have been about 170, 171. So anyway, we were getting ready to leave because the last person coming on was John Mellencamp. And we had pavilion seats. You can get pavilion seats or lawn seats. It was at Deer Creek, which is now called something else. I don't know. Everybody in Indianapolis calls it Deer Creek. It was called Deer Creek when I was in high school. I graduated there. We had our graduation at Deer Creek, and people still call it Deer Creek. It was the last Indiana Dead show ever, by the way. It was the second last Dead show ever before Jerry passed away. So we were there, and so I think my friend looked at me, he's like, "You ready to go? You really want to stay for John Mellencamp?" And I was like, no. Because often it's so far out that if you don't leave early, you're stuck in traffic for like an hour and a half afterwards. So we're like, let's just leave early, right? And we got out, like, we were literally probably like 5 or 10 steps away from the pavilion. And John Mellencamp came out and started singing R.O.C.K. in the USA. And the audience went crazy. I mean, to tell you, like, nothing I have ever seen before at any concert before. And I looked at my friend and I said, let's go back in. And we went back in. John Mellencamp put on a show like I have never seen before. I mean, to tell you, it was one of the best concerts I have ever been to in my entire life. That man can rock it out. And I instantly became such a hard John Mellencamp fan, which is so funny. Back in the day here in Indiana, we used to call him Johnny Cougar. But what's so funny about it is that So I had just started dating my ex, who was from Seymour, and when any place we would go down there to shoot pool or anything, we used to go down to this place called O'Brien Street and shoot pool. There's a couple different bars down there we would go and shoot pool with the two girls that he used to live with that are friends of mine still to this day. So we would go shoot pool. They'd always have, you know, jukeboxes there where you put money in. Any bar in Seymour, Indiana that you walked into, you knew you were going to hear a John Mellencamp song in about 5 minutes. And it's funny because that one song, I think it's Little Pink Houses, and it talks about the house that he grew up in. So there's actually, when you get off the exit, it's the exit before Seymour. It's like Jackson, Ogleville, something, something. But if you go right, if you live in Indiana, okay, you're going 65 South, get off at the exit. It's like the Jackson, Ogleville, something, something. Anyway, it's the exit before Seymour. And you go right, you go over the river, which is the Muscatatuck River, and then you to the left, before you get into Seymour, Jackson and Seymour, I think Jackson is the county seat for Jackson County. But anyway, before you get into Seymour, because you like go and turn left to go into Seymour, to the left is this restaurant, and it used to be called the Rocky Ripple or the Rocky or something like that. I don't know. We used to go there all the time because they would have like, they tasted just like Big Macs, but they weren't. They were called like the Big Rocky or something like that. But right next to it is John Mellencamp's parents' house where he grew up. And we would go there and eat at this place next door. I remember we were eating there one day, and my ex just looked up and he goes, "That's John Mellencamp's house." I go, "What?" He goes, "The one he sings about in the song. It's right there. His parents lived there." And there was like a Porsche, a Range Rover. There were like all these really amazing cars. And it's like a little Victorian old house. It's like 2 or 3 stories. Very cool old house right there. So anyway, but yeah, and now I'm a big John Mellencamp fan. I loved Cherry Bomb back in the day, like when I was in high school and stuff like that, but that was really maybe one of the only John Mellencamp songs I really, really knew. I didn't really know a lot of the other ones, you know? And that's how I fell in love with John Mellencamp, was Farm Aid. God, it's so crazy that was so long ago. It's crazy to think, I didn't even put it 2 and 2 together. I'm like sitting in my head doing the math, and I'm like, so Alex and I will have been together 13 years in August. So my ex and I had been broken up a year. That was 14 years, and we were together 6.5 years. That's right. We would have been 20 years ago this week that we would have gotten together. God, it seems crazy that that was so long ago. 29. Where did all the time go? Sometimes it seems like yesterday, and sometimes it seems like so much longer ago than that. It's crazy when people bring up stuff to me, you know? They'll ask me things about like stuff that happened 10, 15, 20 years ago. And I'm like, especially like working in treatment and stuff, or like when I first got sober, like I remember to tell stories like once I start getting told, you know? But like if somebody will say something to me like, "Oh, did you know so-and-so that they used to go to this meeting?" I'm like, God, that was 26 years ago. Like I do remember it, but at the same time, it's like, oh my God. Like I saw a couple years ago, this girl at a meeting. We were both at a noon meeting. And I kept on looking at her. I was like, she looks so familiar to me. And so I went up to her afterwards and I was like, I know you from somewhere. And she was like, yeah, we used to both go to the, and I had seen her because we were both like on camp. We were both went to IUPUI at the same time when I first got sober. She was like, we both went to the funeral home meeting. There was a funeral home in Indianapolis that used to have, I think I talked about it on here one night, because we used to smoke cigarettes inside the funeral home at this meeting, which I think is so crazy now I look back on that. But anyway, we used to go to this funeral home meeting on Wednesday nights. And she was like, I used to go to that meeting with you. And we had both gotten sober about the same point, you know? But it's like funny sometimes because sometimes like it doesn't seem like it's that long ago to me. Like when I'm sitting here telling the story about first getting sober or whatever. But then like when I'm really thinking about it later, I'm like, it has been a really long time. Like it really does feel like a long time, you know? 5 years is a long time. 10, 15 years is a really long time, you know? It's crazy. Who was I talking to about? Where was I? Was it dinner? I was talking to somebody about driving around Westfield. Who was I talking to? Westfield's like a suburb north of Indianapolis. Was it tonight? No. God, it was where we were out to dinner somewhere with somebody, it wasn't Melissa and Jason. It wasn't last night at dinner. Maybe it was after the meeting I was talking to somebody. No. It was sometime last week, but I was talking to somebody about Westfield. And we literally like used to drive around out in the middle of Westfield. It was cornfields. There was nothing out there, you know? And now it's like huge housing developments and it was my friend in the pool. That's who I was talking to about it. It was my friend in the pool. She and her husband, because her husband went to a private school here in Indianapolis, and she's not from here. She's from Ohio. And so he said, where did you grow? He was asking me where I grew up, and I told him Carmel. And he was like, where in Carmel did you live? And so I was explaining to him where I lived when I grew up. And he was like, yeah, it's crazy. I said, you know, that street looks different now. Like, to get there, this Carmel Drive street looks completely different. And Keystone, like, it's roundabouts and all this kind of stuff. And he goes, oh, I know, it's completely different. Because we're the same age. Like, about, I think he's a year ahead or a year behind me in school. He was like 89 or 91. I can't remember. I think it was 89, because he was asking me a lot of people that were 89. But he played sports in high school, so I didn't know the same people that he did. But I mean, I knew of them, but I didn't know them. But I said, it's crazy out there. All that stuff is like so built up. I said, there are like neighborhoods where all it was cornfields. And he was like, I was just telling her that the other day. We were up there. And I was like, yeah, it's crazy to me. Like, somebody will say like, hey, let's go to this restaurant. I'm like, well, where is it at? And they're like, it's at like 189th. And I'm like, we used to country cruise out there. You know what I mean? We used to drive way out there in the country and, you know, tell ghost stories, and I don't know, we shouldn't have been driving out there doing stuff, but we did way out in the country when we were in high school, and there was nothing out there. I mean, there was literally cornfields, and they've turned it into like some beautiful land. They honestly have. Some of it they've like, you know, I mean, I say a lot about like taking trees down and building strip malls and stuff because I do feel that way. But some of that land out there was literally like just like stretches and stretches and stretches and stretches and stretches and stretches and stretches of just like no trees, nothing, just flat, you know, like just weeds, and you know, a lot of it was farmland, I think. And they put some mature trees out there and some beautiful neighborhoods. But then a lot of strip malls as well, which I don't necessarily understand the need for always. I mean, how many more strip malls do we need? You know what I mean? But I guess 1,000. It's crazy how much things change though. You know, like when you're growing up as a kid and you joke about your parents are like, well, when I was your age, bread was 30 cents, you know? And none of this existed, but it's true. Like, that is a truism that happens as you get older. That's like the weirdest thing. I mean, it really, really is. When places that you went when you were growing up, and not just one or two of them, but like many of them, like a lot of the places that you used to go to do not exist anymore, okay? And I mean, the price of things is just like, I mean, it is unreal. It really, really is. I don't even know that I really remember stuff, but like, I'll tell you what I do know is like going to the gas station, like candy bars were literally like 25 and 50 cents. I mean, seriously, okay? You can get like 4 candy bars for $1. Now candy bars are like $2 sometimes. I mean, it's ridiculous, you know? I'm trying to think of something that like, I mean, I don't buy like a gallon of milk or any of that kind of stuff, so I don't really know. I mean, some things are cheaper, I guess, and some things haven't really like moved up in price. Restaurants are just insanity to go out to eat. I mean, it's so expensive, you know. Well, I'll tell you one huge thing is, I can remember the very first time I ever went to Las Vegas, and people would talk about how cheap the buffets are and how, you know, the shows and everything. It stopped. And I don't know, I wasn't looking, so I don't know where it stopped, but I was saying that the very first time that I went to Las Vegas was probably 18 years ago. And it was for a business conference with my ex. And Vegas at that point was pretty reasonable. Like, the food, the buffets. I remember, like, going to the Bellagio buffet. It had just opened, and we were, like, blown away. We were like, oh my God, it's so expensive. The Bellagio must have just opened around that time. Whenever we went, the Bellagio had been open for, like, 6 months or a year. Or maybe a little bit longer. I don't know. But we went to go see O. And Leonardo DiCaprio and Gisele Bündchen were, like, a couple rows in front of us. And, was that O? God, it's been so long. I'm almost positive it was. We stayed at the hotel at Mandalay Bay. But I remember people were talking about, like, oh, because this is how I know. So the Bellagio buffet had just recently opened. So it had to have been within the last year or two before that the Bellagio opened. So whatever that was the first time I went to Las Vegas. I remember going to the Bellagio buffet, and we literally waited like an hour in line to get through there, because it was like everybody was talking about how it had all these, I mean, it was like literally the new kind of buffet. It had all these stations, sushi stations, dessert stations, that had all this kind of stuff. I remember we went, it was at that time, we thought it was outrageous for what it was, and it was like $25 or something. I mean, that's like cheap for a buffet today in Las Vegas. But we were like, oh my God, they have everything. But then I remember we left, and we were like, oh, we weren't that impressed. Because we really liked the Forbidden City Chinese buffet. That was our favorite. But anyway, now when you go to Las Vegas, God, it's so expensive out there. They nickel and dime you for everything. I think it's different because of Ubers now. But one of the things I remember the first couple times that I went to Las Vegas was how expensive cabs were. Because Vegas, it looks bigger than it is, right? So, like, when you see it on a TV show or a movie, you don't get the full appreciation for, like, how big it is. Oh, come on. Are you serious? Don't be going out of focus on me. You don't get a full appreciation for how really big it is. Like, each hotel is like 10 city blocks or 5 city blocks or something ridiculous. I know Caesar's Palace, like, not Caesar's Palace, the Fountains at the Bellagio, somebody said it's like 2 or 4 football fields or something like that. Trust, you feel it when you walk the length of that. I think it's 2 football fields. I mean, and it feels like that when you're walking it. But you don't really get a true appreciation for, like, how far stuff is from each other until you, like, go there and you're, like, walking around and whatever. And, I mean, it's a walk from one place to the next. It really is. I will say that I always feel very safe in Las Vegas, like, when I'm there, like, walking on the streets at night and stuff like that. It's kind of just like an adult's Disney World. Do you know what I mean? Like, the other thing I will say is, I used to remember when I first went there how clean Vegas felt. Like, it felt like the streets were super clean and everything was clean, and it doesn't feel like that to me as much anymore. The last couple times I've went, it kind of feels like a little bit of a dirty city. I still love Vegas, though. It's like probably one of my favorite cities. There's just a magic about it. I don't even know how to explain it. And in all honesty, like, I love being at the pool during the day. But, like, Vegas doesn't, it's a nighttime city. Like, it really doesn't come alive until night and when it gets dark outside. I mean, if you're going to go to Vegas during the day, go to sit by the pool, because, I mean, first of all, if you can stand it, because it's so hot to sit by the pool. I mean, we always go, like, in August when it's, like, 110 degrees. Typically, when I go, I just sit in the pool the whole time. There's so many lightning bugs out. I remember when I was a little kid. Oh, and heat lightning. I remember when I was a little kid, we would catch lightning bugs, and we would take a fork, you know, to the top of like, what would that be? You know, like a jar, like a mason jar that has like the lid on the top of it. And we would take a fork and we would, like, you know, stab holes in the top of it. And then we would get lightning bugs and we would put it in the middle of it. And we would carry it around with us and we would catch lightning bugs. And, but then I remember at the end of the night, my mom would always be like, okay, let them all go. And we would let all the lightning bugs go off into the air. Oh, man. June was good. June was very good. I posted a lot of videos in June. I was like looking at that today. I was like, I posted, I think, a drama video or a video on my drama channel like every single day except for once or twice, I think, in June. And then maybe 3 times, but I don't think so. And my Peterisms, I need to get back to regularly posting on it. My BookTube channel, my goal in July is to post on it more regularly. I actually, the thing that's been happening to me lately is I've just been running out of time. Because I get started so late in the day on making videos. I sometimes don't even start making videos till 4:30. And so then by the time that I've gotten the videos rendered and posting and whatever, you know, it's like 8:30 and I haven't made a BookTube video yet. And I'm like, well, I can always wait till tomorrow, you know? And that's typically what happens. It's kind of happening with that and my Peter Does Stuff channel right now. So, but I still would like to post regularly, like, you know, I don't know, maybe 3 times a week on my BookTube channel, 3 times a week on my Peter Does Stuff channel. Will be a goal to aim for in July. I actually have quite a few books I need to talk about on my BookTube channel. I need to talk about Malibu Rising, I need to talk about The Homecoming, and I need to talk about, there was another book, Dexter. I need to talk about those 3 books, so I need to do that. I need to do, oh, it just started raining. I need to do my June wrap-up, that's 2 videos. Oh, it sounds like it's going to be a heavy thunderstorm. I need to do my June wrap-up. I need to do, oh, it's really heavy coming up here. I can see it on the road. Lord! And I need to do, I don't know what else. And this weekend is 4th of July. And we have absolutely no plans yet for 4th of July. Alex's friend, one friend was gonna maybe have like a party, barbecue, get together. Tanya asked me tonight what we were doing, and I said I don't have any plans yet. Melissa and Jason and Alex and I and our friends Aaron and Eric, we usually do something for 4th of July, but we haven't made any plans yet. So I'm like, I don't know that we're gonna do anything for 4th of July this year. This rain is heavy. I love the way that summer rain smells. When I was growing up in the summers, not always, but a couple times, when it was like warm outside, like really warm at night. Okay. During the great rainstorm, my battery died. So I had to pull into this little gas station here. That looks like something from 1937. It's kind of scary out there. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And when my camera died, I was like, hold on to your thought, hold on to your thought. I was talking about my mom when in the summer, like if it was nice outside, a couple times like at night, she would say, let's go outside, and we would wash our hair in the rain, like, you know, the drain pipes and stuff. It's silly, but we had fun doing it. You know, like if it was raining really hard like that, but it was like warm outside, you know. Anyway, I love summer. I can't believe that summer's a third over already. It's crazy to think. The rain has stopped for a little bit, which is nice. There's these two electrical like stands, you know, and then it's like in the background it's like this gray and twisting sky, and it would make such a beautiful cover for a book. Tomorrow, I don't have tons of stuff planned for tomorrow. Alex works, he goes into work late and works late tomorrow night. So he'll be home probably about 8:30. So we probably won't do a whole lot tomorrow night. And I'll probably just make some videos and run a few errands and maybe read on the front porch. We gotta clean out an area to put all my Starbucks cups, so that might be tomorrow. But I don't have a whole lot more to say, so I think I'm gonna end this now for the night. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And I hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Thursday. Be kind to one another. Put love out there in the world, like it says in the 4 agreements. Always lead with love. And I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya! And just because I'm feeling it, one more I love you. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!